What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. Hi if you're new here, hi if you're not. Welcome back to my series where I talk about how you can utilize ChatGPT in your business. It's 2023 and it is my personal opinion that if you are not using AI in your business, you are going to be left behind. And that's why I'm here making this video today. I believe this one's probably going to be a short one, but hopefully helpful nonetheless. If you've missed parts 1 and 2 of the series, let me just give you a quick summary of what you've missed so that you can get caught up to speed for today's content. So in video number 1, which you can find right here, I talked about the 3 primary ways that I use ChatGPT to help me in my business. First one being scripting my short form and long form content. Second one being utilizing ChatGPT to help me hone in on my branding strategy. So this looks like using it to help me come up with my mission, my vision, my values, my unique selling propositions, and so on. And then lastly, I utilize ChatGPT to help me determine which analytics I should actually be paying attention to in my business. Now, the feedback that I received on that first video was super helpful, and it actually led me to creating this video here, which is part 2, where I dive a little bit further into the specifics of how I best utilize ChatGPT specifically to take care of the tasks that I find really annoying that I don't want to be doing, but I have to do in my business. And so those tasks turn out to be responding to cold messages and cold DMs that I would get either on Instagram or in my email inbox. I showed how I use ChatGPT to come up with my weekly newsletter content. And then I also demonstrated how I utilize ChatGPT here on YouTube to help me come up with my titles, my thumbnail text, and the descriptions for all of my videos. And so I will have both of those videos linked in the description of this video in case you missed them. But today I thought it would be helpful to dive a little bit further into the specifics of how to craft a prompt for ChatGPT that actually gives you the results that you're looking for and is actually helpful. Because if you're anyone who has experimented with ChatGPT even slightly, you may have found that a lot of the answers it gives can be kind of generic at best, and not necessarily something that you would then take and utilize in your business. Now, I've explained this in my previous videos, but I think it's worth noting that personally, I never use anything that ChatGPT gives me verbatim. Like, I would never copy and paste an email that it generates and then send it to my email list. But I think that by utilizing correct prompts in the platform itself, it will enable you to save a lot of time, because then you can take the content that it creates and you only have to tweak it a little bit to adjust to the message that you're trying to get across, if that makes sense. All that to say, I think ChatGPT remains a really useful tool in helping us to kick a lot of the writer's block that we can experience in the creative process and in the process of taking care of tasks in our business. And so hopefully these prompts will help you to better be able to get the results that you need to be able to get more done in less time in your business. So all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, I did just want to say before we get into tip number 1, that if you find the content in my videos helpful, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Now, my first tip for better utilizing ChatGPT is to make sure that in all of our questions or prompts, we are getting as specific as possible. Because the more specific that you can get with your prompts for ChatGPT, the better the answer is that you're going to receive. So I'm going to use myself as an example here. If you haven't been able to tell by my videos, I think I've mentioned it before, I'm actually on this like curly hair journey where I'm learning how to style my curly/wavy hair. And so let's pretend that I wanted to start a blog where I'm talking about how to take care of your naturally curly/wavy hair. Actually, let's take a moment here and shout out my friend Kea at Comfy Girl Curls, who literally has a blog where she talks about this. So again, let's just pretend that I'm going to copy Kea and I'm going to start my own blog where I'm talking about my wavy curly hair. And so rather than going on ChatGPT and just saying, generate topics for a blog about curly hair, I have to remember that it's important to get specific. So here's what I'm going to do instead. So here I'm going to ask ChatGPT to generate 5 blog post topics for a blog written for 30-year-old women with 2A, 2B curly hair, looking to understand how to care for their curls. Obviously, this is a lot more specific than simply just asking for blog topics about curly hair. And so as you can see here, ChatGPT has done a really good job of giving me 5 different topics that I could then potentially write blogs about. So similar to this, I actually had a client who is a member of my Canadian Business Builder program, which is an online course where I teach Canadians how to start their own businesses. And she was working through the module about creating your ideal client avatar. And she messaged me essentially just saying like, hey, Danielle, this is my business. This is who I sell to, but I'm having a really hard time really figuring out, why they need my product. And more importantly, how to frame the product that I'm selling in a way that's going to resonate with those needs. So what did I do? I went to ChatGPT and I formulated a response to help her. Now, for her privacy, I'm not going to share that example of her business, but let's just continue to play on this idea of a hair care company and how I would use ChatGPT to generate the ideal client for that company. So in this case, I would go to ChatGPT and I would ask it to come up with a description for an ideal client for a business that sells hair care products to women in their 30s that have wavy/curly hair and are looking for help styling, managing, and maintaining their curls. And sure enough, ChatGPT has done a great job of not only describing who that client is, but also describing the challenges they face, the things that they're looking for, what they value, and so on. So you can pause the screen here to read. And again, you can see that the results here are much more specific than if I were just to type, write me the ideal client for a hair care business, or write me the description of an ideal client for a curly hair business. By getting specific and indicating the age the person is, what they're looking for help with, and so on, the results that you get from ChatGPT in themselves are much more specific. Okay, so next up I have tip number 2, which is to train the algorithm. And I think I actually touched on this in video number 2 where I was talking about email marketing and I kind of showed how I feed ChatGPT my previous emails for it to understand, how I talk to my email list. But essentially what you can do is you can feed ChatGPT little snippets of any kind of writing that you've done to really allow it to understand your personal tone of voice, your writing style, and so on. And so in this video, I thought I would show you how I use ChatGPT with the effort of feeding it previous things that I've written to generate Instagram captions. And so obviously what you're going to want to do instead of just getting ChatGPT to write you an Instagram caption is to feed it previous Instagram captions that you've written. So again, that it understands your writing style, your tone of voice, and how you like to show up in your content. So in practice, it's going to look like this. Okay, so as you can see here, I've typed, use these Instagram captions as reference for my writing style, tone of voice, and structure. Generate a new Instagram caption that explains why it's important to use tools such as AI to improve your efficiency in your business and include 5 related hashtags. So then all I've done is copy and pasted 4 different Instagram captions. You'll see they have sort of my writing style, and then they also have examples of like hashtags that I might use. So let's go ahead and see what comes up. And the AI example was just one that I kind of randomly chose to see what kind of caption it would generate. And so the caption that it generated here basically just says, improve your business efficiency with the help of AI. Artificial intelligence tools can help you automate tasks, improve customer service, and provide insights into your business that will allow you to make better decisions. Don't miss out on the benefits that AI can offer you in your business. And then it gave me a few different hashtags that I could use. Obviously, I would format this caption a little bit different. I might also add a few follow-up prompts, which I'm going to get to in tip number 4, to make it even more specific to my business, my writing style, or if I already had the reel that it was going to go with finished, I might add the script for that as well so that it can really make it super specific to the thing that I'm trying to get to come across. So while this might not have been exactly what I was looking for, again, if we accumulate it with tips number 1 through 5, you will be able to better generate exactly what you're looking for. So by now we know that ChatGPT, for lack of a better term, is pretty much just a generic robot when it comes to generating its responses. But I believe that that's only because you are probably underutilizing its true power. ChatGPT is actually an expert in so many different fields, and you can take advantage of this by knowing how to ask it well-equipped questions. For example, if you're working on a project and you need expert insight, you can ask ChatGPT to help you. Similarly, you can also use its expert perspective to help you write concepts, brainstorm ideas, write emails, and so on. And you can do this through asking ChatGPT to answer your question, your prompt, through the lens of an expert, and I'm going to show you an example. So in this example, I'm telling ChatGPT to imagine you are a top-tier marketing strategist helping a beginner business owner formulate their marketing plan for a business that sells cookies. What would be the first 3 steps of advice you would give them? Create an action-based plan on those with step-by-step instructions on how to execute the plan. And so as you can see here, ChatGPT is formulating the response based on the perspective of someone who is a marketing strategist. Once they've identified the 3 steps that the business owner should take, it then took those 3 steps and broke them into the step-by-step plan, just like I asked it to do. Obviously, in this example, I chose the perspective of a marketing expert because marketing is what I do, but you could literally apply this to so many different industries, from accounting to fitness and so on. Play around with it, and I promise you, you will likely be pretty surprised with how good the answers can get. Now, tip number 4 is to always make sure that you are asking a follow-up prompt. As we've seen throughout this video, oftentimes the first response that we get from ChatGPT isn't exactly what we're looking for, but that doesn't mean we have to give up hope. If we ask ChatGPT a follow-up prompt, it will generate better results. And this is going to be what allows us to create content that actually resonates with our target audience. So oftentimes when I'm getting ChatGPT to say, generate a YouTube video description for me, I will get it to write the description based on the script for the video that I give it. And then one of the follow-up prompts that I might ask it would be, rewrite the same description in 150 words or less. Or I might ask it to adjust the tone of the same description to make it sound more witty or funnier, or whatever kind of tone of voice I'm trying to get to come across. So let's jump into another example. So in this example, let's ask ChatGPT to explain how income tax works for a small business owner in Vancouver. I made a spelling mistake. BC, Canada. Now, it's going to generate a response that's likely going to be quite complicated. And to be honest, this response is actually quite good, but we're going to take it one step further. So now I'm going to ask ChatGPT to rewrite the response as if I am a complete beginner with no concept of how taxes work. And in doing this, I'm going to allow ChatGPT to again just make it a little bit more specific. And so you can pause the screen to read here, but as you can see, ChatGPT just goes into further depth explanations for each of the components that it included in the first answer. Now let's pretend I want to take this answer and make it into a step-by-step formula that someone who is a complete beginner is going to be able to follow in order to implement it into their business. In doing so, I might ask ChatGPT to now articulate the response in a succinct bullet point format that I can use to implement into my business right away. And so as you can see here, what ChatGPT has done is made a bullet point list of the most important pieces that I need to know as a beginner who's just starting my business. By using this approach to ChatGPT, you are going to be able to generate very specific solutions to very specific problems. Or in general, you'll just be able to generate answers that are actually helpful to the thing that you have questions about. Okay, lastly, and on a similar note to everything else that I've shared in this video, is to always ask ChatGPT to generate multiple responses. And this is especially useful if you're working on a project that requires multiple options to choose from. So for example, in my business, I often use this strategy when I'm working on titles for YouTube videos or email subject lines. So what you can do is you can ask ChatGPT to generate multiples. So I usually ask for like 10 different headlines. And you can specify the type of tone you would like it to be. So a lot of the times when I'm generating YouTube titles, I will say, please generate 10 YouTube titles that are dramatic and eye-catching that relate to a video about X, Y, and Z. Now let's use an actual example for an email that I'm going to be writing once I am done filming this video. So in this example, I've written, write 10 eye-catching and click-worthy email subject lines for my email list of small business owners, where I will be teaching them about how to use the power of AI to improve efficiency in their business. Now, personally, if I were to do this again, I would probably ask ChatGPT to shorten those titles to 6 words or less, just so that in the email format, it actually shows the whole title, but that's just an aside. A great follow-up prompt, if you will. The idea here is that with multiple results, not only do I have a variety of different choices to choose from, but there's also a higher likelihood that I'm gonna know which one of these 10 results will resonate with my audience better, and the better opportunity I have to now mix and match words from different titles to create a title that best fits my goal, project, etc. Hopefully the information I shared in this video is helpful in allowing you to better utilize ChatGPT in your small business. Let me know your thoughts or what questions you have in the comments down below. Be sure to follow me over on Instagram and TikTok for daily small business tips. And that's gonna be it for this video. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!